All right, what's up, everybody? Another quick YouTuber for today. Um, we're doing this problem called Alien Dictionary. I think this is actually on Leetcode, but I don't have Leetcode Premium, so that's not something I have access to. And so this is like a practice problem that I found, or like that I do have access to. So I only have three um what are they called, examples or like problems to run off of. Or I mean, I could also generate my own problem, but that's kind of a lot of work because you have to make sure that you know you're absolutely correct. Or I mean, actually, I can just grab dictionary words and I think it would still work to prove that it does work. But anyways, yeah, alien dictionary. So basically, we don't know exactly what the order is, right? And we want to put the words or each letter lexicographically ordered by the rules. So since this is a dictionary, uh, one part that I did struggle with that I have to lead with for this problem because in order to even tackle the problem, you need to understand it or at least think of it. Like I obviously understand how a dictionary works, but it's something that I just didn't think about for a while. Basically, for the dictionary, you have to remember they're ordered by the first letter, second letter, whatever. And then the first time there is a discrepancy, that's how you determine which letter goes in front of what, right? So, for example, if we wanted to do something like um, the words cab and can, right? I'm just going to use two words just to do it. We know cab will come before the word can in a dictionary. And basically, when you break it down and actually think about it, C and C are the same, A and A are the same, but B and N are different. So we compare B and N, and we know that B comes before N in the dictionary. So that's why cab comes before can. So following this rule, this is how we're going to tackle this problem, right? So we're also going to use topological sort because this helps us, basically put things in the order that we want, and then we can tackle it. We'll tackle this problem. If that makes sense. So I'm going to import DQ for now because I know I'll be using a Q. You can obviously add it like as you do the problem, but I just want to put it in now, just so um, we're doing this in the order. And so we're going to generate a result. I'm going to do this in a list and then, um, what do you call it? Just do a join at the end. I think that could be better time complexity wise. Um, but otherwise, you can just do a string and just keep adding onto the end of the string. That would work too. So now we're going to initialize the, I guess, data structures that we're going to use. So we're going to use a DQ. We're going to have a Q using the DQ. We're going to have in degrees. You can probably like capitalize some parts of it, but just so you know, I can make typing the solution easier. I don't like using capital letters, so I'm just going to do that. Same thing with graph. So these two are the top sort. What are they called? Like data structures. That we're going to be using. So now we're going to build the internals of the top sort data structures. Right, so for word in words, for character or for letter in word, we're gonna do in degrees. In degrees letter is equal to 0, and then graph letter is equal to an array. So this is going to be building the internals of the top data sort. So basically, looking at this example, just because it's the shortest, for the word cab, we're going to go to C. And so in degrees for the letter C is 0, and then the graph like going outward. So I guess it could be like out degrees or whatever, but I'm just gonna call it a graph. So the graph for the letter going out, there's nothing going out. So CAB and the A, you're just gonna override it, but it's okay. And then same thing for B, so it's already all there. All right, so now after we built the internals, we're going to parse the words in the dictionary, compare the words to each other to figure out what letter goes before what. Oops, I don't want that. So basically, what I'm going to do here is for I in range of the length of words minus 1. So the reason why we want to do the length of words minus 1 is because we're going to have a first and second. It's realistically like first word, second word. So let's just do that instead. Words I and words I plus 1. Because like the example earlier when I used cab and can, we need to compare two words at a time, right? So this is what we're doing. We're grabbing the first word. So in example one, we're grabbing BA and the BC, comparing those, and then we're going to compare BC to AC. And like that's how we're going to compare, just to see what goes before what, if that makes sense. For J in range of the minimum of the length of first word and the length of second word. So the reason why we want to compare the minimum is because, let's say, so we can use this part, right? So first word is going to be AC because it's words I and the words I plus 1. So AC and CAB or cab. So let's just assume for now that the word is like this, right? So when we compare the first letter C and then compare the second letter A, and when there's nothing and there's something here, then we know that this word should always go behind this one. Like, let's just imagine this is still CA. So cab will always have to be after CA because if there's letters added, then that's just how the dictionary works, right? I don't know exactly how to, I guess, put that into words. So we can only compare to the minimum length of the two words. So what we're going to do is going to get, I guess, first character or first letter and second letter is equal to first word J and second word J. So if first letter doesn't equal the second letter, then we know that this letter, so back to this example, so if first letter doesn't equal second letter, so B doesn't equal to N, then we know B has to appear before N in the dictionary, right? So what we're going to do is in degrees for second letter is plus equals 1, and the graph for first letter, we have to append second letter, right? And now we break, because any letter that does show up past this or past this case doesn't matter, because so let's just say Cabo and Cane. I think this actually works. Okay. So we know B will show up before N, right? And so we do this logic because B shows up before N. And so if we didn't break here, for example, if we didn't break, then we would go to O and E. And then so we would compare it and be like, oh, O comes before E. But the thing is, in a dictionary, that doesn't make sense, because if cabo is a word in a dictionary, I'm not 100% sure. Um, cabo would not, because it would have to be something like cano and oh, it would have to be cane and cano. Like that would be the actual order, right? But since it's cabo, since it's the B that does come before the N, these letters don't matter. So that's why we have to break here. That makes sense. So let me just drop the cab and can. Okay. So after we've broken out of that, then start building the order. So we have the Q already defined, right? So for letter in what is it? In degrees. If in degrees letter equals 0, then Q dot append letter. Because this means there were no letters that we found um, in all of the words in the dictionary so far. There are no letters that we have found that belong before this letter. So we're able to append this. Um, right? I think that's as best as I can explain that. Um, and then, and so this is like the top sort part. I don't know what kind of comment I can put for it. But while we have a queue, we pop things off of the queue, right? Pop left. And then when this result dot append popped for letter in graph of popped in degrees letter minus equals 1, if in degrees letter equals 0, then you can do q dot append letter. And then so now this is how you build the graph for using top sort, and then you would return join result. Yeah, so this should be right. Let me just grab the solution. So this would be BAC as our result. This one would be C, and then AB, cab, I think. Let's make sure, cab. This one's a bit longer, so we know Y, W, XZ, I think. Y, W, X, Z, just because if you go Y, W, X, Z. So that should be the guaranteed order. Just to make sure, I guess. Y, W, X, Z. Okay. Let's run it. Why does this get... What? I swear this wasn't like that before. So what are the answers again? BAC, CAB, YWXZ. Yep. So that is, I guess, the video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time. See ya.